Hello, my name's Albert Mikhail. I'm an engineer as well as a practicing urologist, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Multiphze and Multiphze LLC. And for us, the product that we developed is basically the first OSHA-compliant device to manually irrigate patients who have bloody urine, what we call hematuria. So for a lot of us clinicians and nurses, when we see this tray right here, this is PTSD for a lot of us. So, it's this 3 separate pieces. You have a 60 cc syringe that you're going to basically, I have one here with me, by the way. You're going to fill the syringe here, irrigate there, and waste there. So by the time you're done, it turns out, it's a very messy procedure. It's non-OSHA compliant, and it's quite traumatic even for the patient to sit there and see this bloody battlefield when you're done. Pardon the pictures. But this is what we've been doing for decades. It's amazing that we've become complacent with bladder irrigation and hematuria. So at Multiphze, I'm sure you guys have heard the expression of MAGA, but we believe in MEGA, make hematuria great again. But not that it was ever great, but we're trying to make it a much better procedure, and nurses love it, by the way. So it's a very simple design. It's basically a syringe that has its own integrated, excuse me, not very smooth there, but has its own integrated irrigation line and drainage bag. So this is actually the device right here. And it basically goes between a fill phase, irrigate phase, and a drain phase. So when you're in the fill phase, you're just going to pull fluid in, irrigate the bladder, and then you waste it in the drain. So it's a very simple design. Every conference we've gone to, everybody has said, this is genius. How come no one thought of this sooner? In fact, I've been able to use it in my own practice. I've had nurses flanking me saying, whoever invented this must be rich, but TBD still on that last one. But I'm just, I'm happy to use it on my own patients, to be quite honest with you. But it's a very simple design. There's not much to it. And what's nice about it is in the animal lab, we cut the time to irrigate. So for first-time users, they used our device. They were able to irrigate easily up to 3 liters in less than half the time than the standard way. But more importantly, the spills went to 0. And you can see here from the animal lab, there's not a drop of blood anywhere. And when you look at the cost calculator, our device actually it's more expensive than that simple 3-piece design that I showed you. However, when you look at the procedural costs, we're actually cheaper. When you think of all the bloody linens that now had to get decontaminated, you have 2 FTEs actually doing the bladder irrigation. Because this 60 cc syringe, you need someone filling up your 500 cc reservoir, you need someone wasting your 1 liter bottle. With ours, we spike it into a 3 liter bag, and we have a 4 liter bag hanging there, and I can go through 4 liters of irrigation by myself. With that being said, in this cost savings, we don't even include the mitigation risk. Because when you have a patient with hepatitis, HIV, all these other communicable diseases, MDR, E. coli, MRSA, VRE, who wants to be exposed? So, what we found is potential cost savings now is when we don't sell it with a catheter, but we now tell the nurses to insert the catheter with our syringe connected. So there's not even a drop of blood when you start doing the manual irrigations. And in fact, people see it, they get it. When we get orders, we get reorders. In fact, Kaiser actually took us on after a 3-unit trial. They put us on a national pricing agreement. Vizient actually invited us to take part in their innovative technology conference in order to bid for a no-bid innovative contract. And we already signed a GPO contract with the Northwell Alliance. Some of the future milestones we have, obviously we want to do a study that we can reduce CAUTI rates. CAUTIs are catheter-associated UTIs. It's one of the biggest things that hospitals get stinged on their Medicare reimbursement rates. But ideally, we can show that we're going to reduce CAUTI rates. It's inferred based on our closed system, but we still need the data to show that, and that's one of the big milestones. We're already selling product in the Middle East in Qatar, but we're working on our Saudi FDA product, our Saudi FDA right now, as well as the UAE and Kuwait. Otherwise, we want to get into the CE market. We have right now our 5th patent's pending, and we have a couple other iterations that we want to develop. So this is our growth pattern for the rest of our 5-year scenario for sort of US based. We're looking, actually right now we're in a seed round. We're hoping basically to sort of raise funds to help us get our reiterations going and basically help us with our scaling in our US market. Thank you.